Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 121 of Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
I'm Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in each and every week. We greatly appreciate it because each of you make us show up here. Actually, I'm lying. I would show up here either way. So we do appreciate you, though.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for tuning in. We are pumped. This is first episode in a while without a guest. So we're going to be doing the, back to the roots episode.
Yeah. Old school. Kicking it old school.
That's what I'm talking about.
So, yes, it is episode 121. We are in a weird spot. We just got back from the All-Star break for the NBA, the Four Nations break. They've got a couple games in this last weekend. Was not fun if you were a Denver sports fan.
Man, no kidding, right?
The Avs did not do well, and the Nuggets, unfortunately, finally lost. I think the first time since 2022 they lost to the Lakers, and unfortunately, Mr. Chad went to the game.
I did, yep.
So, yeah, let's start there. How was your weekend, man? We'll start right there.
All right, the weekend was pretty good. Friday night, we just, since we were going out Saturday, decided to take it easy and just ordered some pizza.
Pizza.
Good old Pizza Hut,
Dude,
man.
Pizza Hut,
If you don't order Pizza Hut through the app, you are just sleeping on it. You need to wake up.
The deals are
It's
great.
2025.
Yeah.
Dude. I had 300 points in there, got a free large, and then used a coupon because I'm 37 almost.
Yeah.
And
if you're not clipping coupons, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, exactly. So that saved us on some hot wings, dude, and it was fire.
Dude, full meal for dang near nothing.
We watched the Felipe Esparza new stand-up on Netflix. That dude's funny, man.
Oh, we haven't watched that one yet. I did watch his last one not too long ago, but that one does look pretty funny. There's a bunch of new comedy specials out now.
Yeah, Chris Stefano has a new one on Hulu. I need to check out. Have you watched it yet?
No, I haven't watched that one yet either. But
well, first off, let's cheers to episode 121. We finally got it, ladies and gentlemen. We've been in search of this drink.
Good Boy Vodka. They, for some reason, I don't know how they haven't found us. I mean, we feature their main spokesman every week on this show. Every episode, we talk about John Daly, and this right here is Mr. John Daly's Good Boy Seltzer.
Non-carbonated, no added sugar.
No sugar, gluten-free.
Yep.
It's good for you, as good as a alcoholic drink can be. Only 95 calories per can.
That's even less than High Noons.
That's true. But, we haven't tried these yet, so this is my first time. Chad's had one.
I had a couple over the weekend. I liked them, but I haven't tried this flavor. Cheers to you, buddy.
Cheers to you. Cheers to John Daly. Cheers to the show.
That's
cheers
right.
to each and every one of you. Let's
Onward
give this
and
a little
upward.
taste. Oh, yeah. I still was expecting it to be carbonated, even though you just told me it wasn't.
That's what I thought, too. But
it almost makes you feel like it is at first.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe just because it's like canned, like when you open up a liquid death, but it's not carbonated.
It's not, but it almost feels like it is.
It's kind of a little fizzy. I know. It's weird.
Delicious, though.
Yeah.
4.5% alcohol. So, you're not going to get too hammered, but
not too bad, though.
Not too shabby. I like it.
I know.
John Daly, Good Boy Vodka. Get at us,
Please.
Send us some our way.
We will literally drink it every week and every day.
I will could have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
Let's get a drinking problem together.
Twist his arm.
Yeah, you really don't.
No, I got it from Daveco over there. I really think it was only like $15 or something like that.
That's not too bad.
That's a good deal.
That's the going rate now for seltzers.
Well, I was like, oh, it's not like too expensive, but it wasn't.
You can't
too bad.
go wrong with $15.
But Friday night we just stayed in, and then Saturday we did go to the Nuggets game. We got there, and her purse was too big, so that was kind of frustrating. So we had to go to the bag check van. Wait in line for another 5 minutes.
A van. That seems very...
Oh, I know. I was like, how do we know that this guy's not going to drive away with all these ladies'
valuables in a van?
That's what I thought. I was like, this what? And they didn't even have it right close to the entrance.
Your kid wasn't tall enough? You had to put your kid in the van?
Oh, man. Yeah. And it was just kind of like lame because it wasn't even like close to the entrance. It was like another block away. So that kind of put a damper on it because I really wanted to get there and like watch warm-ups and kind of like
get acclimated.
Not get there last minute. So
sit and then stand for the national anthem.
Yeah, we did do that. I was pretty stoked for that. We did, and dude, whoever sang it, I can't remember her name. She crushed it. It was awesome.
That's good
because that's what's good about the altitude streams. When you do that, you can watch the
whole
whole
thing, pretty
pregame
much,
and
yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we get up there and it was just a total blast. We sat on that club level, like I talked about, to where the pork nachos on the club level, go get them. They're right there near that little restaurant area. They sell sandwiches at that restaurant, but I don't know.
You're
I
not
want
having a
those.
sandwich.
Dude. Yeah, the pork nachos. They threw like 30 jalapenos on there. Holy cow! The next day, my stomach had like a fire, and it was an inferno.
Oh
man.
yeah.
Totally worth it though.
Well, jalapenos are delicious. You can't go wrong.
But I've pretty much talked about everything but the game.
It wasn't much to talk about.
Was frustrating. Jokic had 9 turnovers. Like I told you, I feel like Redick's approach was let's just totally bombard him.
Yeah,
Throw
2 and 3.
2 and
guys
3
at all
every
times.
single time, and
3
then everybody
quarter
else.
press. Yeah.
MPJ had a really sorry game. That was kind of frustrating. I thought I would get really frisky and throw 50 on the game for a parlay, and it was an easy one. It was like plus 132. I was like, all right, let me, since I'm there, throw 50 on it. Really put a lot at stake.
Yeah.
All they needed was Christian Brown to get 5 rebounds. He averages like 4.
3.5.
Dude,
3.
He had 3, and. He always plays the rest of the game, but because they were getting beat by 23, they had him sit out the last 4 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's like, but the great thing is I've got an awesome woman to where she will always be a good time when it comes to getting drunk and eating good food. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
We ended the night at Dawn's, ended up being it was a blast the night.
Yeah,
So,
good. That's good.
yeah, it was a good time. But it was, I will say it is kind of cool as much as I hate the Lakers. I'm glad I got to see LeBron play. I can't believe I said those words out loud. I don't have respect for him, but I can say that. People.
I seen it. We never got to see Jordan.
That's what I'm saying. Is I never got to see Jordan. I mean, we
Yeah.
watched The Last Dance. We see how like so many people flocked to him in that last season. I got to see that. We got to see Bronny warming up, and it's just like the whole thing. It's not like I was going to watch that or anything, but watching Luka play on the Lakers right after getting traded there, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
He had a great game.
He had a great game.
Yes, 35 points, man. That was
He
nuts.
showed up and showed out, unfortunately.
And on a night where Jokic had a triple-double, too, which just made it even more of a bummer.
Yeah, but any given night at this point, it feels like Jokic has a triple-double.
Anytime, dude. Yes.
Like last night, he sets his career high for assists, and it's just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, nothing like-
It was a 19-19.
I'm glad you brought this up. I
Yeah.
meant to bring this up before we started recording, but that's what's great about the show.
There you go.
It's very live. And I thought we should create a new segment because we've talked about it before, and you know what I'm getting at. Something along the lines of maybe it's like a theme song, like an old 90s.
What has Jokic done? Or like,
Well, and still, it's like a pair. Remember the Wayne's Brothers intro?
Yeah,
We're just
okay.
two guys.
We're brothers and
We're
we're
brothers. Yeah.
Give me a high five.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah. The
Something
Wilt
that.
Jokic.
The Wilt and Stilt show, or the Wilt and Yoke. What am I trying to say? Wilt and Yoke segment, or something
think
like
of
that.
something, yeah.
And it's going to be every time he has a game where he gets mentioned in Wilt's like records or something like that, because it happens every damn game. Last night he had 19 assists, man.
Yeah, and it made me think, and we're getting a little like wonky here, but whatever. This episode,
We got a guest today,
We,
so it's
we
all
can
good.
do whatever we want. I wanted to bring this up in Hard in the Paint, but it's only a matter of time until Jokic has a 20-20-20 game.
I think it's going to happen, man.
And it's pretty crazy to think that aside from Wilt, the only other person to ever do it was Russell Westbrook.
Oh, was it really?
Yes,
I did not know that. Wow.
So the last person was Russell Westbrook, obviously. It was actually on the Lakers. No, wait.
No
I lied
way.
to you. It was on April 2nd, 2019. And it was against the Lakers. I'm sorry. And Russell Westbrook
Was he still on the Thunder at that time? No way.
I don't know. Now I'm going to have to look
I
into
don't
it.
think that was Nets. No, he wasn't on the Nets.
Wasn't he on the Clippers? Dude, he's made
The
the
Clippers,
rounds
yeah,
recently.
Yeah.
Oh, this does
Any
show
questions?
him. Oh, whoops. It does show him in the Thunder. I don't know. So we'll have to see.
It could be.
But he had 22 points, 20 rebounds, and 21 assists.
Jeez.
And like I said, Wilt was the only other one to ever do it.
Well, what do you think of Yoke's comments the other day on his birthday where they captured him going down the stairs when he was like talking to Westbrook and
Yeah,
the camera
he's
caught him?
like,
He's like, I can't wait to break his record.
It's
I'm going to
just-
make fun of him the rest of his life.
Yeah.
He's my favorite player, man.
He is, man.
This
It's a
is
great
the
thing.
So So
You got it, Murray, I see.
The other
but-
great thing about the game is like, okay, since they're losing, let's just go get a bunch of merch because she does like wearing a lot of Nugget stuff. She got a Christian Brown jersey, which is
Nice.
cool.
Hell
It's
yeah.
the same one, kind of like I have. That's just the regular Mile High City standard.
Oh,
blue
the
one.
blue-red one, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
but-
That's still a good one.
It is pretty cool. And then, so I wanted to get the Jokic version of this, but of course they were like sold out in my size. So I had to go with Murray. I was a little nervous about it because you never know on his future with the Nuggets, but he has been playing really good. So I'm
he helped
hoping
him get
it's
the
a good
first
luck
one,
charm.
you know?
Yep.
So, yeah, they, again, though, you talked about it on Saturday night, the turnovers almost got him again last night. It's getting pretty frustrating.
Yeah, he gets really wild.
Russell Westbrook has a lot of turnovers,
Man,
unfortunately.
You know, and I think it's Westbrook and LeBron that's up there for the most. I just heard this the other day because I think LeBron like set that recently.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, turnovers.
it was-
well, he's
yeah.
going to. He play that long, you're going to have the most
Oh,
turnovers
I think he's
ever.
leading it. He is leading it now, but those are the top two, and it's just their style of play. Like I was watching Westbrook dribble the other night, and I mean,
He's just crazy. He's
Dude.
just like, "Ah!" Like, it just-
oh man! And almost every time he got the ball, I was like, "Don't shoot, don't shoot," because he was just cold.
Even when he drives to the hoop, sometimes I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like,
Oh,
it's a
man.
layup.
Yeah, but he dribbles the ball like his hands are like tied or something. Like I don't know, man. He
They're just
doesn't.
flat.
And
He's
you,
just-
it's so different than like Curry's dribbles and stuff, man. It's so different.
yeah,
But over the weekend, I finally did finish Senna, and
Yeah.
I told you about how that blew me the fuck away, man.
it was crazy.
I felt so ashamed for not knowing of his legacy and how much of an icon he was. Obviously, I'm not Brazilian, but you know, I'm new
Really?
to Formula One. Dude, look at it. Speak Portuguese every day.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
Man, like what he stood for, he was a good guy. How he won that championship by being like, okay, last
just
year
gonna
pros,
wreck him.
you screwed
Yeah,
me
you
over.
wrecked me, yeah.
My turn.
Yeah.
And the way how it worked out like that, where we're talking about is Ayrton Senna.
Yeah, Ayrton.
Yeah, it's a really crazy
Ayrton.
cool name. Very unique. And I mean, if nobody's heard of it, go check it out. He won championships in the late 80s and into the early 90s. And I mean, it was a fascinating docuseries.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and it's like I was saying the whole time. It's like the whole thing is good. The way they filmed it's pretty crazy. If you watch like behind the scenes stuff, like it's all like not much of it is actually driving. It's all like, you know, and it's not like CGI either. But they filmed it just like this way where it looks super real. But yeah, when you get to the end of it, you just don't realize the impact he had, and even the way he died. Like I remember hearing about him dying and stuff, and just, you know, through the years, and then getting into F1 in the last few years, you hear his name, you hear about him dying, but you just don't realize like how he died, and the fact
So messed
the
up.
fact
He was like
that
a martyr.
someone-
He was
that
a martyr.
Someone died the day before, and he's like, "We should stop.
Yeah.
Like, we need to stop." And they're like, "We will race tomorrow."
No matter what.
And then he died the next day.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe
Yeah.
it. Because I knew that's kind of what it was leading up to. I was on the last episode, but I wasn't sure. And spoiler alert, but you know, when you guys type
He
it in-
dies.
he dies.
Yeah.
We've mentioned it before. But he died for such a good cause because that was the last death in I take that back. There was another one that I think happened 2012.
There was
But-
another one a couple years ago, but it was F2.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
think that's what they said. There's never been another wreck in F1, and the safety regulations that got started, and they did create basically like a union, like a players union, like NFL.
Yeah.
For the drivers after that, for their safety, and they implemented all these new regulations because during that season they had modified the cars to where they weren't really sure on it, and in the early season they had agreed on it, and then after like 6 races they started noticing that they're
Yeah,
not
we're-
safe.
yeah.
And then that track where they kept happening, I can't remember, it wasn't Brazil.
Imola.
Yes. Yeah.
Imola, yeah. And
And-
the asphalt was in terrible condition, and they were worried about the turn, and the turn that Ayrton was worried about was the one he ended up dying in.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, super crazy. And it's also the reason why they have that crazy halo system now that, like, when you look at it's literally like a crossbar, like, right in front of their eyes.
How does that factor into it?
Because the reason he died is when he hit the wall, the front tire blew back and hit him in the head and killed him instantly.
Oh, okay.
So they put, now that's why that, like,
To protect him,
that's
basically.
why that, like, halo system is around the car now, to keep the tires from hitting the guys, since
Wow.
they're sitting out with half their body. Because that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
These guys are, half their body is in the open air. You know what
Like
I mean?
it's a go-kart going
Yeah.
230 miles an
Yeah.
hour. I mean, it's insane.
And the crazy thing about back then, I did go on like a little like YouTube like highlight thing for a bit. We were talking about going back and actually watching some of the races and stuff. But like the cars were entirely different. They were like manual shift.
Mhm.
Like these guys were having to take their hands off the wheel. Now it's all paddle shift and everything's on a computer on the actual steering wheel. But back then the cars had like 600 more horsepower than they did. They're like 1,200 horsepower.
Really?
Yeah, like
I
insanely
didn't realize
light.
that.
Yeah, like that car actually, Ayrton's McLaren, I think it's the MP4 is what it was called or something like that. I think that's the model name of his last car with McLaren.
I thought he was racing for Williams. There
He
at the
was
end.
at the end, but
Yeah.
the Marlboro one, that
Yeah.
like famous one,
because he was racing for McLaren for a
for
while.
a long time, yeah. But Lewis Hamilton actually took that around a track last year. And then there's another cool thing where you can watch him.
Oh,
the
that was.
first
I remember
time.
when he did that.
That
didn't-
was Senna's car.
Oh shit! Like the exact same
Mhm.
one,
Yep.
like the same model. They like rebuilt to the same specs.
It's the
and
same
everything.
car. It's
Wow.
literally the same car.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And there is a sweet video on YouTube you can go watch of the first time Lewis Hamilton got to drive that car. And he ripped it around the track and he's like, this is insane. Like he's like, this is so much crazier than our cars.
Oh my
like
God. And it just goes to show you like how talent factored into so much of like his success, like his skill with like driving through the rain that nobody else could do. I mean, the way he just kind of like went into this zone. I mean, it was nuts. That one episode, it was like episode 3 or 4, where he was going into that zone, almost like
he's
if
like, I
you
got
ever
like
seen-
tunnel vision.
yeah, like clear the mechanism, like with Kevin
Yeah.
Costner, and then he ends up like kind of wrecking because he gets like 2 out of the zone.
Yeah. He didn't realize what it was, but then he finds out he can like get into that all the time. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was like one of the things about him is like he's one of the greatest drivers of all time because, and you'll see it throughout the episodes and stuff. Like he always wants to be strapped into the car super tight.
Yeah.
Because he wants to feel every single thing that the
Yep.
car is doing, and it's just stuff like that where you're like, oh, he was just like heads and shoulders above everybody else.
And his dedication to,
Yeah.
you know, like in the very beginnings when he had like a wife and or girlfriend, whoever it was, and he just was like locked in. He
Yeah,
was
he's like, I
studying
got to be world
turns and stuff.
champion. Yeah,
Like it just goes to show you, like if you're gonna be a GOAT, you've got to be psycho.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, that's kind of how Jordan was. Nobody really liked
Tom Brady.
being his friend. You
Exactly.
know?
All
He's
these
kind of a
guys.
dick.
That's how it was. And like those guys too, like that's what was cool about Senna is like, man, he really was respected by his peers. And I mean, it was nuts where later on in life he became really good friends with Prost, who is his rival.
Well, yeah,
early
when he
on.
became like a writer and stuff,
Yeah.
and they were like really good friends.
It's pretty
and like,
cool.
and he was and Prost was the one that told him, he's like, I think you should be the de facto leader of the
Yeah.
drivers union, more or less. He's like, I don't want that. you
Yeah.
know? But yeah, it's super good.
Unbelievable. It's totally worth watching. And yeah, just that was the other thing I was gonna say is, man, I got choked up after like at the end when they show, and such a good job by the producers and stuff to make like almost shot for shot what happened in real life by like that one race where he was like so locked in he couldn't even wore
when
his
he-
shoulders out.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't lift the trophy, and
Yeah.
you see the real life shot of that. I mean, I just hats off
Oh,
to
at
him.
the end, yeah, when they go through all
The real
everything,
footage,
yeah,
yeah.
you're like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think like that's just like you know, some like made for TV like fluff stuff, but then when you actually see it and you're like, oh damn, that guy literally drove himself to where like
was
he couldn't
locked
even
in.
function. Like he got like I don't even know, like lockjaw in his arms.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, I told you I am going to continue to go down this like wormhole, and I want to know more and learn more about it because it's like people that like grew up in Brazil maybe not knowing about Jordan or something. To me,
Yeah.
that's the equivalent.
Yeah, he was like their Jordan, really. I mean, there was one, I can't remember his name. There was one other Brazilian driver, I think, that won I think he just won a race. I don't think he ever won a championship. I could be wrong, but Senna was like their Jordan, like,
big time.
You know,
Yep.
before, like, I mean, there's obviously
And
soccer
he brought
players and
F1
stuff.
too there too. For the longest time it wasn't in Brazil, and then he was winning so many races. His mom was like, "I want you to win in Brazil."
Yeah, well, and then it was funny too when the F1 president showed up and everybody was booing him and stuff, and he's like, "We're never coming back here.
Yeah.
Like, screw you people."
It was awesome. Go check it
shit.
out. It was great.
Yeah, no, definitely go check that one out.
What about you? How was your weekend?
Busy, man, busy. Friday we didn't do a whole lot, but Saturday got up and went and we were doing some demoing at Dan's house, our bass player, getting some more tracks done that we've got new ones. We've got up to like 15 now that we're getting ready to
Sick.
hopefully go record here shortly, but we're trying to get them all demoed and stuff. So we did that for like 3-4 hours, and then I went to I've probably talked about him before, my work dad, Pepe. We went to his 60th birthday party
sweet.
on Saturday night, and it's a big Mexican family, so it was a pretty rip-roaring time.
That's awesome.
We were down off 6th and Santa Fe at his son. It's called Artistico. It's his dance studio. He does like traditional Mexican like folk dancing and stuff.
Pepe, like
his son.
Oh, his son does.
Yeah,
Okay,
his
cool.
son. His son's name's Chepe, but he's Pepe Jr. I don't know why they call him Chepe. I'm not really sure about all that stuff. But it was there. It was a super good time. And then me, Merrill, my brother Jeremy, his wife Stacy, and one of the other guys that I've worked with for a long time, Matt, and his wife went. And we went to an old bar we used to go to all the time called, oh man, hold on. Ah, shit. Oh God, brain fart. Hold
Damn
on.
it.
The Glen.
Oh, okay.
The Glen. It's up off like 104th and Irma. It used to be like a big hangout we'd go to Friday and Saturday nights, and there'd always be karaoke and like a ton of people there. But we went on, and it was like 10 o'clock, and they're already shutting the kitchen down.
Oh shit.
And then they called last call at 11 o'clock. So we went over to our buddy Matt's house, who's technically, he's not my cousin, he's Jeremy's cousin.
Okay.
There's some weird, his dad married their mom's sister,
Yeah.
and I'm not technically related to him, but my brothers are.
Right.
So we went over to his house, and we were hanging out, drinking a little bit more, and I was playing with his dog, and I was like squatted down, like catcher stance, like just playing with his dog, and I wasn't paying attention, and the dog came running over and just like fucking pushed me, and I fell back, knocked over like the water dish, the dog's water dish, and so I got up, my ass was all wet, and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then my brother's wife, Stacy, was like, do you not see that hole in the wall? We turned and looked, dude.
No
My whole
way.
arm from here to here put a hole in their
my
fucking kitchen wall.
God.
And I was like, dude, how did that even happen? Like, I barely fell back. But yeah, somehow I hit right in between the two studs.
Oh no.
And I
That
put a
sucks.
hole in their drywall. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, shit. You're gonna do some patchwork. maybe,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I told him I would. He says he's got it, but
Oh,
yeah, I
man.
felt pretty bad about that. And then Sunday we had to go to a baby shower for our friend Lauren and her husband Joe, who they're the ones we got the dogs from. So we went there to go
Cool.
give them.
Was that
their-
Meryl's friend Lauren? Or
Yeah.
is that Lauren?
Another Lauren.
Okay.
She has several friends named Lauren. and
Lots
she'll
of
just
Laura,
say Lauren,
Laurens.
and I'll just be like, which one? I don't know which one you're talking about.
Like Ashley's. And
Yeah, but so that was pretty cool.
Cool.
We went there, hung out for a few hours, and then yeah, Sunday night I was pretty much pooped.
stuff. Yeah.
But other than that, that's about it. Oh, we did start watching the new season of Shoresy, which is the spinoff of Letterkenny,
Oh, okay.
which is about the hockey team in town,
Oh,
which
sweet.
is a super good show. You should
Nice.
check it out. If you haven't watched Letterkenny, watch that.
I've heard a lot of good things about it.
And then also watch Shoresy, another good. I think there's like 2 or 3 seasons of Shoresy.
Cool.
But-
You know, speaking of hockey, I finally, with all that happening last week with the Four Nations, I finally watched Miracle. I'd never watched it before. Man, it
yeah,
was,
it's a pretty good one.
it was awesome.
That's
It was
one of those
good.
ones that like give you goosebumps.
yeah, and I was just thinking, I'm like, why doesn't Disney make more like sports movies? They've just hit home runs with them, man. Miracle, Remember the Titans, like
Remember the Titans is one of the better,
it's
like
really good.
football movies.
Yeah,
But yeah, Miracle is a super good one. That's one of those ones that you realize, like, most people don't realize that we didn't play Russia for the champion for the gold. That was
I didn't
just
know
to
that.
get
I was
there.
glad that
But
I knew
there's a
that.
lot of people that are like, wait, they had to go play Finland
Right
next.
afterwards,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like what?
Yeah, it's a hell of a story.
Yeah,
Man.
it is a
pretty
wild
cool.
story.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that's about it for my weekend. But yeah, no, when did you watch
Sweet.
Miracle? Is that this weekend?
I watched it throughout the week last week.
Oh yeah,
I was working out.
I got like halfway through that Court of Gold. It's pretty good.
Oh, I have been wanting to check that out. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good
start
things
watching
about
it. It's really good.
Yeah, that'll be the next one.
Really good.
Cool.
So yeah, that brings us to now. Here
Very
we are.
nice. Let's talk about some sports ball.
Let's do it. Let's get into some headlines.
Headlines! Get your headlines here!
That's right. There wasn't. I mean, there's stuff happening, but it is a little bit of a slow week right now. We're waiting for the combine to kick off. That's on Thursday. But you know, the NBA and NHL is back. We don't have much time left, but we'll get into the NFL to start things off.
Are you ready for some football?
You better be.
It's football, bro. Happens.
Shit happens, man.
Not too bad about a quiet NFL headlines week. We got a lot of other shit to talk about. We got baseball to talk about today.
That's true, man. We got baseball. We got a little NCAA to talk about. You know, there's a lot going on.
Yep. But this upcoming Thursday, we do have the NFL Combine starting.
Yes, the Underwear Olympics are here.
Yes,
Time
indeed.
to watch grown men do field day type activities in next to nothing.
Yep.
So, yeah. It should be interesting, though. There is a lot of things that are up in the air. You know, we'll see what the deal is going to be with the quarterbacks. Obviously, Shador has said he is not going to throw this week, but it does look like his teammate, Travis Hunter, will be participating in both wide receiver and cornerback drills, which made me think, I wonder if he gets to run the 40 twice then. Because there's technically wide receivers,
Groups,
40 groups, and then cornerback.
He
40
possibly
groups.
could.
So,
Yeah.
you know, you could have a bad one and then just be like, that's all good.
All
I
right,
got
I'll
another
get another one
chance.
coming. Yeah, I saw where Shadur's not going to work out for teams. He's just going to probably do a few different workouts.
Yeah, and it is looking like now, I'm almost wondering if the Titans are going to take Travis Hunter #1 overall.
It seems like that's what's going to happen.
And-
And I hear more and more rumors that the Jets are trying to move up to get.
Yeah, it does
Shador.
sound like Aaron Glenn does have his eyes on Shador, but I do have, you know, the question of whether or not Dion will allow that to happen. I could also see somebody like Cleveland going all out and just trying to get him, and I could see him pulling, you know, like an Eli and being like, "Nah, I don't think I'm gonna do that."
I wouldn't want to go there, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it does sound like now, if that is the case, and the Titans do want to go, you know, generational type talent #1 overall, that that could be a potential landing spot for Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, I do see a lot of mock drafts, though. The Abdul Carter from Pennsylvania will probably be the one taking #1 overall.
It does seem like it could be between him and I think Travis Hunter's.
Yeah.
I mean, the combine, I think the reason him doing both is to ensure that he is going to go #1, but we'll see. There is a lot of talk about Abdul Carter being one of those generational type edge guys that, you know, like a Von Miller, those type of guys. So it'll be interesting to see, but we'll see how it all goes and how it's going to play out because we're getting there, man. Football's already back.
I love it. Love it. Never goes away.
It hasn't been gone for long, but here we are.
Commanders grant Jonathan Allen permission to seek a trade. The two-time Pro Bowler had a cap hit of $22.3 million, and Washington could save $16.3 million in cap space, whether he's traded or released before 6/1.
Yeah, this is one of those things that we're getting to that weird part of the year where you are going to see a lot of these cuts made. And unfortunately, there is guys like this who, like Chad said, he's a two-time Pro Bowler, and he has done well for them. But it's just like you kind of reach this point where you're like, we can't pay you what we've agreed to pay you.
He was hurt a lot last year too. I think they probably, you know, they're moving
It's,
on.
you
from
know,
it.
unfortunately, you got to make those decisions sometimes earlier than you'd like to.
That's true.
So,
Over the next few weeks, we're going to see, especially into like that first week of March, I think it is when free agency begins. I think it's like 15 days now.
yeah.
We're going to see the NFL shaking up.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot of cuts, a lot of veterans that are looking for new homes.
Yep.
But as most things start unraveling as the combine does get here, there is a lot of talk with the GMs and the owners and such about new rule proposals and such. And it came out yesterday that an unnamed team had brought forth basically wanting to outlaw the tush push.
Yeah.
And nobody knew who it was, and now we do know who it is. It turns out it's the Packers, which is kind of surprising. I don't really know why the Packers are the ones to do it, but I figured there'd be more than one team, but, you know, there isn't. And I think it'd be one thing if every single team was doing this all the time, but clearly, as the Bills showed us, not everybody can do the tush push to the ability that the Eagles can. So I think it's kind of like, well, until you can stop them, or it just becomes where everybody's doing tush pushes in every single game over and over again, then, you know, deal with it at this
You only
point.
see a few of them. The quarterbacks that are kind of big are the ones that are doing a lot. I do think it is kind of a hazard. I am for them banning it because, I mean, I watched Chris Jones hurt his neck on the play. It's not a
He
safe
lined
play.
up weird, though.
That's
he lined up
because
sideways.
You're not allowed to line up over the center, though.
I know.
That's why it's kind of a cheat
It was just
code.
a weird way to do it. I was like, that's weird that he was literally lined up like perpendicular.
horizontal, yeah.
I was like,
I mean, but when
I
they
get it.
they almost favor the offense where you're not able to line up over the center, so you're
what
automatically
rules
at a
nowadays
disadvantage.
don't favor the offense.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and that's why I think this would be a step in the right direction to finally let's try to even the game out a little bit. I think one thing that really should be brought to the owners' meetings is taking away the spot foul for pass interference. Let's change it to college.
I agree.
Where
Yeah,
it's 25 or 15 yards.
15 yards.
Yep.
Yeah. There is stuff like that that obviously needs to be looked at. I do think they need to look at obviously extending replay even further.
Yeah.
Especially in the playoffs. Maybe not every game, but we can't have playoff games ending on these crazy nobody knows what happened calls. There needs to be some definitive things, and just to keep everything in check now. Because like I've said, if you're going to be in bed with gambling, we can't have stuff where we're all arguing about what actually happened.
Yeah. Let's get a clear, definitive answer if we can.
Yeah, I mean, they already do things differently in the playoffs than they do the regular season, so why not add some more rules in the playoffs that, make it at least more fair and favorable, you know what I mean?
I'll totally agree.
Yeah, good.
All right,
good,
last
'cause I'd
news we
argue
found out
with you.
today that is Travis Kelce might be coming back.
Yeah, well, it sounds like he is.
Yep.
At this point, I don't know why he wouldn't after what he said, and it's hard to turn down $19 million. I think that's his
I would
cap hit
imagine.
this year.
Yeah, but I think the agreement that the Chiefs can make. So the other day they gave him a deadline till March 14th because at that point his roster bonus hits, and they also told him if you're going to come back, you have to accept a lower role, a smaller role in the offense, and we got to restructure the contract. So I'm sure they're going to try to do something because he would be the high. I think he would be the highest paid tight end. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So they got to figure that out. But what are you gonna do? That's unfortunately the reality of getting older in the NFL.
Yeah.
They'll sign you for those deals, but more often than not, those last years are kind of up to the team whether or not you get them or not.
Exactly.
So
Not guaranteed.
and they did put the onus on him. You need to tell us what's up because unfortunately the Chiefs are kind of behind the eight ball in terms of needing to know what exactly they have.
Yep.
In terms of cap space heading into this year. So, I'll be interested to see. I'm sure he'll probably do something pretty favorable with a lot of incentives, kind of like a Peyton Manning, where he took a huge pay cut, but then ended up getting most of them back by winning the Super Bowl that year.
Cool.
So, that's probably what will happen for him. But,
Hope so.
are you going to be watching any of the Underwear Olympics? Tell me, will you tune in?
I doubt it. I just watch it the same way I do every year through social media.
Just watch the Twitter highlights.
Yep.
See who runs real fast, who lifts a lot real good. Other than that, nobody. Oh, and who throws the ball real good? We'll see that. That's really all that matters right now.
True.
In terms of watching those shuttle relays, I'm just like, I really don't care.
Right.
That's just for scouts. But, well, do you want to talk about anything else in the NFL, or shall we move on? And where would you like to move on to, my
I
friend?
think we could cover the Daily Dogs.
You want to do the Daily Dogs? Let's do it.
Why don't you go first?
I will.
Since yours is in the
Mine's
NFL.
in the NFL, and it's a little bit old, so to speak, but he's just now dealing with the aftermath of what happened this week, as Nolan Smith ended up playing, I believe, almost the entire second half of the Super Bowl with a torn triceps, which is hard to say because he only tore one tricep, but it's a plural muscle, triceps. So yeah, he tore triceps in the Super Bowl, continued to play, and he just now, I believe, yesterday or the day before, finally underwent surgery to correct it. They expect him to make a full recovery in time for the 2026 season. But Nolan Smith did have one hell of a year this year. He broke out in his second season with the Eagles, mainly showing in the playoffs, but he did start 10 of 16 games in the regular season with 42 tackles, 6.5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, 11 hits on the quarterback, and 24 quarterback pressures. But in the postseason is when he really ramped things up. In 4 playoff games, he racked up 16 total tackles, 4 sacks, a forced fumble, and 6 hits on the quarterback. He did so while sharing the defensive front with his former Georgia standouts, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, who, as we know, that front alone pretty much wrecked the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, unfortunately. For Chad.
It's a really good defensive line they got there.
Yep. So yeah, unfortunately for him, he's going to be on the mend for a little bit, but sounds
really
like
badass to play through the second half with that. That's
it's, and I guess well, it was in one of the years with Alabama. He tore his pec and ended up missing the second half of the season. So that guy's been tearing some major muscles.
That's crazy. Wild.
But yeah, so that is my daily dog.
Well, mine announced today that she is retiring from the WNBA, and that is Diana Taurasi.
Yes.
This woman, it's insane. Everybody has heard the name. She was a college standout. She won 3 national championships at UConn. She's won 3 WNBA titles with the Phoenix Mercury, and more importantly, 6 Olympic gold medals. Let's do the math real quick because it's every 4 years. That's 24 years she's been competing in the Olympics. Man.
Yeah, which is crazy.
That's more than half my age. That's insane.
Yeah, and at 42, she steps away as one of the most decorated players in basketball history, not male or female, in basketball history, which is nuts.
She is seriously one of the GOATs. It's crazy, I mean, with her leaving, but, she's, it's like Kelsey, like the last few years, she's kind of been letting the younger players step in there at the Mercury. And it's pretty cool, too. She played all 20 of her seasons for the Phoenix Mercury. She is the WNBA's all-time leading scorer. And she, I think, is 3rd all-time on assists. She's just a go. And more than anything, like back around the time in high school, I really got into college basketball really hard around that time. And that was around the time that UConn was really establishing their dominance there with Gino. And I got to kind of like see her at the same time. And I just remember her vividly on college and UConn just being unbeatable.
They still are unbeatable. They're really they've fallen off a little bit these last few years, but I think at one point they were on some crazy unbeaten run.
They go
seasons,
like 56 and 3 years and stuff like that. It was crazy. Actually, I almost put it in there, but Texas, the women's college basketball team, gained the #1 ranking this week, and that was the first time they've been ranked #1 in 21 years. So it's been a little bit of shuffling of the top WNBA or college basketball team. But yeah, she was dominant in college basketball and WNBA and the Olympics. So that is why Diana Taurasi right off into the sunset.
There you go. Enjoy it. One hell of a career. Basically, the LeBron James of WNBA. Yeah, so really good. Hats off to her. And she's Chad's daily.
Daily.
Damn right.
I bet Hannah every time is like, what the fuck?
I always
are
wonder
they
what she's thinking. Like, what are they
barking up
doing?
there?
What are weirdos?
Fucking idiots.
All
Well,
right, then,
let's get into the NBA. We're
let's do
already
it.
talking about basketball. Let's continue. Wow.
Magic, right side to Scott. Slam dunk. 4 seconds. 3 seconds left. Why are they not fouling? Jumper Murray. Denver bounce.
Pump fake for two. Kobe's got the Laker record. 81-point game. Ladies and gentlemen, you have witnessed the second greatest scoring performance in NBA history.
Come on. I'm burning.
I'm Byron.
This one still gets us every time.
Every time.
Yeah, well, why don't you take us to the first one here, Chad?
Yeah, I put this on here because I feel like this is just getting hysterical at this point because now the Knicks fall to 0-7 against top 3 teams. Over the weekend, they lost to the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
On Friday night, they lost by 37 points to them. Ugh, not a good team. I mean, and the Knicks are like 3rd in the East, too. So, I mean, it's like, you know, if you're going to be considered one of the top 3 teams, you got to play better against some of them than that. Yeah.
And you were saying
they are 3rd.
I hadn't seen any updates, but Karl Anthony Towns also went down.
I meant to, yes, I thought I typed that in, but I guess I didn't. But I was wondering, I knew he went down the other night, but I haven't heard any update on how serious it is. Then on Sunday night, they lost again to Boston by 13. So, yeah, now they're falling to 0-7 against these top 3 teams. It's just like, oh, you need me to open that?
Yep.
Cool, you got it.
Popping
bottles. Can you do me a favor and bring me 2 more Good Boy vodkas, please? It's all good. Yeah.
Pop goes the weasel, and the weasel goes pop.
But yeah, the Knicks just suck against good teams. Every time they play one, I'll try to like put some parlays on them. But I learned my lesson like a couple weeks ago. They play bad against really good teams.
Yeah, it sounds like Cat is kind of day to day, so it sounds like he could possibly be available on Wednesday night when they take on the 76ers. Speaking of the 76ers,
Embiid.
things are not good as Joel Embiid is now getting imaging on his knee. He might have to have a full patellar tendon like a new one. He's got to get a new.
There's really good odds that they're going to
Patellar
shut them
tendon.
down the rest of the season, and they should. They suck really bad. They lost to the Bulls last night, who were like 11th in the East.
And then they gave. Thank you kindly.
Appreciate you.
They gave Paul George that big extension, and they
they're on the hook for Embiid money.
So
Dude, get this.
wrong.
They brought it up on PTI
It's gone
today.
so wrong.
They owe Paul George and Embiid $400 million.
Yeah, that's insane.
And they're like the 11th ranked team in the East. Like they lost by almost 50 points.
Well, and
last
there's
night.
also talk too that Embiid's the knee thing could possibly be because it's due to his hip, and they're worried they're gonna have to break his hip, but like the femur at the hip, and like realign his bone so that it quits putting all this pressure on his knee, and they think that it's stemming from his hips. And it's just like, dude, like this sounds like it could possibly be like, I mean, Jamal Murray was out for what, a year and a half? I mean, who knows how long Embiid could be out after
maybe
this one.
career ending. You never know.
It could be.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, this has got to be one of the worst built teams in a while in terms of how and going into the season, everybody was like, man, I mean, they're going to be competing in the East again. Look at how they're set up. But then Embiid, the injury bug surfaces again, and unfortunately, he could be done for the rest of the year.
Yeah, enjoy that, Philly. You
Yeah.
may have a good football team, but your basketball team sucks.
Yeah. Take us to the next one, Chad.
All right. Well, Luka gets his chance to get some revenge on the Mavs tonight. It will be in LA, though. And as we were talking about, unfortunately, earlier, the Lakers are starting to play pretty good ball. LeBron did have a 40-point game the other day, and we had to hear about it through every media outlet possible. It is impressive. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, at 40 years old, it's still crazy what he can do.
Really crazy.
They
are taking on the Mavs.
It'll be interesting to see what Nico Harrison does. I'm sure he'll he'll be there somewhere, but I'm interested if he'll be
Is it true
visible.
that Dallas, because I think they play in Dallas, like the Lakers and Mavs, in April, I think it is. I don't think they play at all in March. But is it true that they're not allowing?
No, that was NBA Centel.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was true.
They got everybody, dude. They talked about that on ESPN.
Oh,
too.
wow. I was like,
It's
damn.
It's like
Well, the way they've been treating the fans, I kind of
like
believe it, dude.
it's like NFL memes kind of.
Yeah.
It's like one of those
Sports memery.
Yeah, sports
Yeah.
memery.
But
It's one of those.
But it totally made sense because they were kicking out kids that
Yeah.
were chanting "Fire Nico."
Yeah, no.
So I totally believed it.
It's pretty wild. It's one of the more petty reactions we've seen, like a sports organization have to a decision that they made.
Yes, the fans are
It's
livid.
just like, you guys did this.
Yeah, what did you expect?
We didn't know that we were gonna at 10:30 on a Friday night hear that our best player just got traded.
It'd be like the Golden State Warriors trading stuff. you know?
Yeah.
Instead, they get somebody to help them.
Speaking of which,
They're playing good ball.
I think they won
6 in a row.
Yeah, and
They played
it's
tonight.
surprising what Jimmy Butler is able to do by getting to the free throw line and how that's helping Golden State right now.
Yeah.
Well,
He's motivated. He's just playing a lot more motivated.
it sucks too, man, because like we said, we watched starting 5, and I was like, I like Jimmy Butler, but then now after all this shit, I'm kind of like, that's a dirty way to.
Oh yeah. And I've always loved Pat
just
Riley.
Gave up on your team.
Like
dude.
Pat Riley's one of my favorite basketball figures
Yeah.
ever, and especially after watching Winning Time. But I bet the Warriors are going to keep winning. They're playing the Hornets tonight.
Yeah, well, Hornets are terrible. So,
Yeah.
but
Take us to the next one.
yes, last night, Mr. Jokic, we kind of already talked about this. Dished his career high 19 assists, and we kind of talked about the 2020 game. Will it happen? I think it probably will, but who knows? I hope it does. The Nuggets need to figure something out. They've been, ever since they got back from the All-Star break, I don't know if they are just still on vacation time or what, but they got to get some shit figured out.
I don't know what you're talking about. They played really good last night. And,
Well, last night they played good, but
even the Hornets game, they played really good the first half. They had a bad
it's the
third quarter.
turnovers, though.
I know it's the turnovers. I definitely I
The
I agree with
turnovers
that.
are just so frustrating.
Yeah.
But it's
Feel like that's kind of just like it's almost like a Mahomes thing where it's like, dude, he's a gunslinger. Jokic is just kind of slinging across court sometimes.
yeah.
It-
But Jokic always throws it right to the people.
Sometimes they're not in
Westbrook
position.
just goes to the rack and he's just like, "Wah!" I
I think
got wet
Westbrook
on you,
needs to
but
learn how to dribble. I think that's part of it too.
I like they need to figure out his play still, but I do like the experiment. He's brought something new to the team, and they got to figure it out a little bit. But did you hear this crazy stat? While the Nuggets are one of the worst 3-point teams in the league, they are leading the league in fast break points, and they're averaging almost 60 fast break points a game, which has not been done before.
You know who I think that's a big part of?
Westbrook? I'm just
No,
kidding.
Christian Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That dude has been a starter. And
Yep.
I've talked about his most improved case for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm still on that board. I think it's unfair because Cade Cunningham was already a starter last year.
Yeah.
But is everything okay with the lights?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm brighter than you right now, but we'll figure it. It's not the end of the world.
Okay.
No.
Only
I just noticed it in
anything
the split
different.
screen now.
Okay.
Because now that we're both next to each other, I'm like, Chad's a little darker.
Well,
than
my
me.
light's kind of going this way. Yours is going right on you. Maybe if
might
we
need
shift it
to
a little bit.
angle a little bit.
Oh, yeah, maybe
It's
on
not the end of the
music
world.
break.
Yeah.
All right. We just need to see all of your
Yeah.
Great
All of your
features.
complexion.
dude, Christian Brown. I mean, even in that game on Saturday, like he was giving them a little bit of spark. I am just, and I know that's totally objective. I'm a Jayhawk fan, but it's just like this guy came from being just like a small, college player to where he's at now on a starting team that they were second in the East,
Yeah.
now they're third, but they're one of the top teams in the West, which, someone I saw on Twitter today raised a good point. It's like, if the Nuggets were in the East, what do you think the record would be?
I don't even know right
They
now.
would be right there.
Yeah, they probably
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because right now, like you just said, Christian Brown is scoring 5.3 fast break points per game, second only to Giannis Antetokounmpo.
There you go.
So that is one of the reasons why they are where they are in the West.
He always dunks it, man. I'm like, how? Every time I think
like
he's
it.
gonna
Don't-
lay up.
Don't lay it up.
I'm like,
Slam
dude,
it home.
He's got ups, man.
Slam a lemma ding dong.
Woody Harrelson would be proud.
Yes, he would. White men can jump. Ask Max McClung.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. All right. Well, this one's a little bit more of a somber one.
Yeah,
but,
unfortunately. I just saw this one the other day, and I kind of figured with the way things are going, but tell him what's up.
Yeah, Greg Popovich from the Spurs. Sounds like he won't be returning. And he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's got 5 rings. He's had David Robinson, Tim Duncan. They've drafted amazing players. Right now, they've got Wemby. Well, excuse me. We talked about Wemby being out for the season, right?
No, not yet. We haven't. So
No. Yeah. So I meant to put that on the one, but it came up. I'm pretty sure Wednesday, right after the podcast last week. Found out that Wemby has a blood clot, so he will be out the rest of the season.
yeah.
So
Unfortunately, in his shoulder, which
Yeah.
is very weird.
Greg Popovich is a little older. He is the longest tenured NBA coach right now, but this is pretty unfortunate. He is a great, so we wish him all the best in getting back to good health.
Yeah, and just to give you a little rundown of his incredible career, all-time leader in NBA wins, 5-time NBA champion, 1-time Olympic gold medal coach, 3-time coach of the year, 17-time coach of the month, and led the Spurs to 22 postseasons.
Wow.
It's,
Unreal.
It's the definition of greatness there. So let's hope him a good enough recovery to where he can go and live out the rest of his life like he should.
On a beach with
Yes.
a drink in a hand.
Yes,
All right, we're
yes,
going to run
yes.
down the standings now that we're back from All-Star break. I'll hit the East. Cleveland Cavaliers at 47-10, owning the East right now. Then the Boston Celtics at 41-16, 6 games back. New York Knicks, like we said, can't beat any good teams. Wow, look at that. Then the Cavs and the Boston Celtics are 9-1 in their last 10 games. They're a tough team to beat.
Hard to catch up when they keep winning.
Yep. Then, like I said, the Knicks are 37-20. The Bucks are 32-24. The Pacers, who the Nuggets just beat last night, 32-24. And then the Pistons, still at that 6th seed. I love to see it. And I don't know. Oh, they've won 7 in a row right
Yeah,
now.
look at the Pistons.
Yeah,
Cade
neither-
Cunningham went off the other night, though.
Yeah. Didn't he have 42 or something?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
hit
let's
the
go.
West
Let's
for
hit the Western Conference. The Oklahoma City Thunder, although they did lose that heartbreaker to the Timberwolves.
Oh, thank you. I forgot.
We skipped over that one, but yeah.
Yep.
And
Durant.
ended up blocking Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's final shot at the end of the game after coming back down 16 points in the final 4 minutes of the
They were down 20 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they the second team in the I still think this is weird to say, the play-by-play era of basketball. It's the second team. I think the other team was I think it was the Raptors. But nonetheless, one of the biggest comebacks with only 4 minutes remaining in a while, and unfortunately for Oklahoma, they were on the losing side of it, but they are still in first in the West, 46 wins, 11 losses, 8-2 in their last 10. The Denver Nuggets have a sole position of second place, 38-20, 9-1 in their last 10. And then we got the Grizzlies, 37-20, right behind them. The Lakers, right behind the Grizzlies, 34-21. Unfortunately, the Lakers have been on a little bit of a tear, 8-2 in their last 10. Behind them, we've got the Rockets at 35-22. And then in sixth place, the LA Clippers, 31-26. And that rounds out the Western Conference.
Before we
there.
move on, have you taken a look at the Lakers' upcoming schedule?
Oh, they got to play like 6 games in 8 days the next month.
That and it's a gauntlet. Man.
Yeah,
they're
it's,
playing nothing
the
but tough
Nuggets
teams.
and like
That's why they're 8-2. I mean, they were playing the Jazz,
that's kind of why the
I almost
Nuggets
said the
were that
Bobcats
8-1.
for a second. The Hornets. Yeah, the Nuggets got a good start, but they took care of business.
They
I'm
did,
fine with
and
it.
now
Yep.
they've got a good one too. Though they're on this Eastern.
I even
trip.
tried when I was at that game. I was even trying to think to myself, trying to justify it. Jokic and Luka, they're good friends. You know, we all cheered when they were like hugging before the game. He's such a good guy. I wouldn't doubt it if he was like, I'm going to take this game off. I'll let Luka have this one, and then in the playoffs, I'll crush you. I will crush you.
Well, it's just like I was telling you, we were talking about it a little bit. And I was talking about how Reddick said he missed like 2 days of sleep preparing for this game. And I'm like, if you're missing 2 days of sleep for a regular season matchup, dude, good luck in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, that might work on Jokic in the regular season, but the dude is the definition of like a basketball computer. And he's going to figure out how to beat you.
Yep.
Put 2 on him, put 3 on him.
Wait until we get Peyton Watson back, man.
There
Peyton
you go.
Watson.
Peyton Swatson. He should be back here in the next like week or two,
that's what I'm thinking.
hopefully.
Dude, and
But
Aaron, I said it last night, dude. Aaron Gordon.
if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, I know it. But, he was healthy all last year. He just had a little bit of an injury issue this year.
A little
Just the
calf issue, a little
Well,
calf
it's not
flare
like
up.
he has a bad history of it. Man, he is shooting the ball really damn good.
And also another thing too that he's done really well, even if he's not shooting well, passing the ball. He has turned into like a Jokic light a little bit there when the second team's out on the floor.
I mean, and that what more definition of an MVP is that when he lifts all these other guys that aren't all stars, and they play so much better. I mean, the passing of Aaron Gordon, I feel like the passing of Jokic just kind of inspires the rest of
even
these guys.
Brown a little bit. I've seen a couple weird behind the back crazy passes. It's all rubbing off. So it'll be interesting to see. Sorry to get all homerish on the Nuggets, but we got to do it. We got to do it, unfortunately. Let's get into the penalty box, talk about a little bit of hockey here, get in some MLB, touch on the UFC, and we'll get the hell out of here. Let's do it.
Myers penalty on number 8, Dave Schultz.
Dave Schultz.
2 minutes for roughing.
Can't remember how long this one goes.
It goes for a little bit. I need to do a little bit of editing.
Take a little sip.
Baby, how long will you keep me in the penalty box?
How long will you?
Baby, I'm wrong, but it's lonely in the penalty box.
It can be lonely. Unless your brother's in there with you. And speaking of which, I'm going to start it out on this one. I know you want to talk a bit about the, what happened with the Four Nations, of course. But what we need to talk about as well, speaking of the Four Nations, is Brady Tkachuk is supposed to return on Wednesday from his injuries he suffered in the Four Nations, and he is expected back Wednesday against the Winnipeg Jets.
That's a tough game to come back to, too.
Well, the lower body injury happened while playing for the United States. I think it happened... Was it the last game or the game before?
Well, Matthew Tkachuk didn't play pretty much.
No, but Brady played.
Yeah,
he didn't play in the last game that much. But I think in the second game against Sweden, before they played Canada, he went down in front of the goal, and nobody knows what it is because lower body injury. But he is expected to return. But let's talk about it. One of the great. Lightning in a bottle moments in terms of
sports. You got to wrap this up in sports history, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was awesome. I mean, it goes to overtime. So we went out to State House that night, and the game went to. I think we left in the third period. I think it might have been the break or something like that. It was awesome. I mean, the whole bar was cheering. It was fantastic. And then, of course, it goes to overtime, and Connor McDavid hits the game-winning shot, and it just is
going to happen.
You can't write a better script. I mean, Sidney Crosby hit the game winner. I can't remember how many years ago, but it was in the.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and when it went to overtime, and then for Connor McDavid, the new up-and-coming star. Obviously he's been there for a while, but it's like he's taking that spot that Sidney Crosby had. You literally can't write a better script.
No, you really can't. And obviously, the political climate played into it perfectly. The NHL could not have planned the ruffled feathers between Canada and America to be at a higher ruffling than they were at that moment in time. And that definitely played into it a little bit. But, man, it was fun to watch. It made you wish that all all-star, whatever you want to call it, could be like that, and it just made you realize, unfortunately, it can't.
Well, and you got to have him. handed hats off to Bennington. He was a brick wall that last game. Nothing could get through.
He was. Some of those saves he was making, I was just like, dude.
That last, I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes left, or like right around overtime. I mean, they had a little bit of a flurry, and he was just, there was one shot that came through, and it was just insane.
Watching shit like that, especially like when goalies, like when a team pulls their goalie and they've got 6 attackers, and you're just watching this. And nowadays, these goaltenders are like 6'4", like they're giants, and these guys are doing splits and just.
They're doing like yoga. You would have
like,
to do
what
yoga.
The hell, dude? Like,
I mean, there's no way the flexibility.
like 6'4" people aren't meant to be that flexible, but yet these guys are, blocking
Amazing
shots, and
athletes.
splits. So
hats off to the NHL. I wish I had memorized the commissioner for the NHL, but I mean, he had hit this out of the park.
oh my god,
It was awesome.
Scribbled. I think it's Gary Batman. But let me
Yes,
go check.
yes, you're right. I've heard that. And
Yep.
Good call. I mean, this is amazing. Adam Silver. I think he really needs to
Take some notes, because that shit. Well, you know
Roger
what's
Goodell,
unfortunate
something.
though? That was still watched more than the final of the Four Nations, the NBA All-Star.
wow. Yeah, was it 9.3, right?
Yeah. So that's unfortunate. But I mean, that was the most watched hockey game ever, I think.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Well
right.
done. I mean,
Let's move on to Alex Ovechkin, who just went off.
I
on
thought
Sunday.
about having him be my daily
blame you.
dog. I
I don't
thought
blame you,
about it,
dude.
but I was like, we already have Ovechkin watch.
How many games did he miss? 13 games?
Man, he missed 2 months. He broke his leg.
I think it was like almost 13 games. And could you imagine? He would have already broken the record, I would imagine, by now.
Yeah, he probably would have.
I think I'm saying 13 because he's 13 goals shy. I wonder how many it is.
16 games, yeah.
All right.
So yeah, he is 13 goals shy. So he got a hat trick on Sunday.
Yep.
And that was on top of the 15 goals they scored in 24 hours, which is nuts. I mean, they're just hammering people.
8 in one game, 7 in another. It's like, Jesus, this is like lacrosse scores.
Yeah, which, we'll probably be following the Mammoth soon, because we're going to get media passes.
Hey, I'm going to Dick's, actually. We just bought tickets to Rufus to Seoul in August.
Oh, I thought you were going to say to the Rapids game. I was like, oh, that's surprising.
Concert. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, hats off to Ovechkin. This is insane. He is the first person to ever score 200 goals in 3 different decades.
Yeah, I was
gotta
actually
delay
going to
work.
bring that up, and you did. Look at you go. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy what he's done when you look at it. Broken out through the 2000s, 245 goals. The 2010s, 437 goals in 10 years. That's
Unbelievable,
crazy.
Yep.
And then in the 2020s, and we're only 5 years in, already 200 goals.
And PK Subban brought up a really good point on PTI the other day where they were talking about it. And it's like, this could have been something where who was it? Not Emmett Smith. Maybe it was something like that. It's like when these stars kind of go for a record, like Barry Bonds and the Giants,
Yeah.
Something like that, where it's like such a monstrous record. It kind of overshadows the team and their goals by just like winning a championship.
Yeah.
But instead, the Capitals are leading the division. They have more points than anybody in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, in amidst this,
They're
he's
also
still
a really good
leading his
team,
team
yeah.
to be that good. I mean, Washington, D.C., they're just
The
it's hot
Capitals,
right now in the
man.
D.C.
The Capitals. Yeah, let's get into the standings as you just brought it up. I'll start in the Eastern Conference. We got the Toronto Maple Leafs leading the Atlantic Division, 35 wins, 20 losses, 72 points. In second place, you've got the Florida Panthers, the reigning champions, 34 wins, 21 losses, 71 points. And then right behind them, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they got John Cooper coming right off of the win in the Four Nations, 32 wins, 20 losses, 68 points. Moving to the Metropolitan Division, you've got the Capitals, as Chad just said, leading their division and also leading the conference with 38 wins, 11 losses, and 84 points. Actually, I was going to say they have the most points, but they don't, as Chad is going to tell you.
Oh, you're right.
Who does?
The Jets just took it. Yep. So the Winnipeg Jets, they are 41-14 with 85 points now. So this is updated since a couple days ago. And then The Dallas Stars under them at 37-18 at 76 points. And then the Minnesota Wild, 34-19 with 72 points. And then the Colorado Avalanche right under them. They need to keep fighting. All right. The Golden and then Pacific Division, the Golden Knights at 34-18 with 74 points. And then the Edmonton Oilers with Connor McDavid with 72 points. And then the LA Kings, who just had a cool charity event thing for the Fires, with 31 wins and 17 losses and 69 points.
Yeah, speaking of which, in that charity thing, PK Subban dropped the gloves, I believe, and fought somebody.
Oh, wow. That dude's awesome, man. He had Steve Carell skating, too. I thought that was cool.
Hey, that
Will
wasn't a
Ferrell was
lie
out there.
in The Office. Apparently, he is an actual
No,
good
he's really
skater,
good. He's a really good skater.
Well, let's get into a little bit of the big league chew here. We haven't talked a lot of MLB,
We haven't
but
talked about MLB at all.
no, we haven't, and it's here. Spring training has
Vaughn, a juvenile
arrived.
delinquent in the offseason in his major league debut.
Gonna light your ass up, meat.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering.
Rest in peace, Bob.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner.
It's crazy here.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, spring training is here, man.
Juan
It's-
Soto hit a homer. His
First time.
at bat.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
With the Mets.
The Rockies continue their crazy, bumbling, losing ways as they actually have a bases clearing inside the park, basically. I didn't even know how to explain it. They basically, it was an infield fly that turned into like.
I saw you commented on that one.
Yeah, it's just that sounds about right. But yeah, you know what though? This year, I don't care how bad they are, and I don't think they're gonna lose 100 games this year. But I'm back into baseball.
There you go.
I'm gonna watch some games this year.
I can't wait for it, man.
And watch some regular season. I might even go to a couple Rockies games.
It's fun. The Rockies games
And
are
they
fun.
do put on a hell of a show. It's just, unfortunately, it's anywhere but on the field. But, so that's the unfortunate thing for the Rockies. But they're trying new things out, Chad. Tell us about it. It's interesting. I don't think it's going to actually make it into the regular season, but
I don't think this year, but I think next year it might. They're starting to use AI-assisted ump calls for strikes and balls. Minor league teams are testing this out, where teams are allotted 2 challenges per game. If it's a batter that can do it, or no, excuse me, it's a pitcher and a catcher that can challenge it. It's not the batter, right? Do you know?
the batter can.
Okay, yeah.
The
so
batter can
3
tap his helmet.
Yeah, that's what you do. Is you kind of tap your head, and then you can challenge it if it's a ball or strike. The ump then calls in, almost if it's like the NFL assisted kind of like New York thing, where it's like, "What do you think?" Then they take like this scan of the strike zone. If it is a strike, it is a strike,
Yeah.
and then the ump confirms it. If it's not, well, they change. So, pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to happen. Again, we were just talking about this earlier with the NFL and stuff, and it's just like you can't have a umpire have a bad day and just make his strike zone just ridiculous, which has happened so many times where these guys, their strike zone is like, it's like this
It
big.
changes. It changes.
Yeah.
You know, if they don't like a batter, they can change it. And then we saw last year, I believe it was in the majors, where there was an ump that got fired for, it got reprimanded or something
He's
like
sharing his account
Yes.
with his betting account.
Yeah.
So,
that. You know, it's real easy to do. It's not like these guys are making millions of dollars. So, you know, gambling is right there. So they got to prevent
Well,
it.
it's also hard too when you have a guy like Jose Altuve and a guy like Aaron Judge who could be batting in the same, game more or less. And one guy's 6'7" and one guy's 5'4", and you're expecting a guy to change the strike zone to like how it should be.
Yeah.
For a monster and a midget,
Yeah.
more or less. I'm sorry, little people. We've already got demonetized. This. Damn it. But no, like that's kind of what I'm saying. It's just like with all the different sizes of people and what the strike zone's supposed to be, to expect the guy to be able to do that while the guy's throwing 100 miles per hour at you, it just seems like we need to have a computer involved.
I don't know. One of my favorite memes is like a baseball one where it's like a major league player, I think for the Astros, meeting a kid, and they're like, "Oh, look at Jose Altuve getting to meet someone." It's like, It's so stupid. It's funny. He's so short.
It's just like, which one's the kid?
Yeah. But the Yankees are finally coming around, and after I put this in her. I'm not sure if it's
4 decades.
Yes, I know it's something like that. But George Steinbrenner, I think it was 1976 or 74, installed a new rule where he did not want his Yankees to have beards. He wanted them well groomed. And now his son is starting to change that, where they will be well groomed. Won't be yours is trimmed up much more than
This
it's been
would
in the
not
past.
be allowed.
Yeah, that's.
I think you're allowed
kind of more of like a
mustaches.
5.
Yeah.
Because Wade Boggs used to have a mustache.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could, if you have like a 5 o'clock shadow or something's probably fine. But big move because it comes like 48 years in the making for the Yankees.
I'm reading something here that says it could have been illegal.
Could have been legal?
Illegal. The Yankees rule requiring all players to be clean shaven very likely violated New York City employment law and possibly even federal labor laws.
When it comes to the Yankees, I'm sure they would win a court case against
Perhaps
that.
even more significantly, the policy may have made it more difficult for the Yankees to sign free agents, thus potentially harming their on-field record and ownership.
No, that is so true. There are people that didn't want to do that.
I believe it, man. I mean, but hey, sign of the times. The times they are changing.
That's true. Well, that's it for baseball. If we get any
Dudes
more
can
news,
have beards. Beards,
will
not beers.
update you.
Yes.
Let's hit the music break.
There will be. And it's time to hit the music break. We are continuing with me playing my favorite band at the moment, which is the Southern River Band. The name of this song is, oh my God, I had it up and now I don't.
What happened?
The name of this song is Chasing After Love Will Burn a Hole in Your Shoes by the Southern River Band. We will be right back.
She's the kind of girl they write the songs about. She moves with the breeze. Don't even try to understand. She just do as she please. 'Cause it's everything woman and nothing in there. If you're not too careful, you lose your self-respect. When enough and the truth ain't the truth. You're believing that it's real. just wants more glance. You do anything she wants you to. When she walk away, just sit back and watch her cry. She keep on saying, hey, I got nothing to hide. And you wanna believe it with all your mind. Once you're thinking straight, you know that it ain't right. She don't care. No, she don't care. Care about you. She don't care. No, she don't care. Care about you. About you. About you. Whoa. Chasing after love will burn a hole in your shoes. Chasing after love will burn a hole in your shoes. What's the lie to someone who fuck all to lose? Chasing after love will burn a hole in your shoes. Chasing after love will burn a hole in your shoes. Chasing after love will burn a hole in your shoes. What's the lie to someone who fuck all to lose? Chasing after love will burn a hole in your shoes. Well, the woman that you love ain't the girl that she is. The woman that you love ain't the girl that she is. Oh, that woman that you love ain't the girl that she is. The woman that you love ain't the girl that she is. Well, the woman that you love ain't the girl that she is. The woman that you love ain't the girl that she is. The woman that you love ain't the girl that she is. The woman that you love ain't the girl that she is.
All right, we are back. God damn it, I did it again. Well, I just need to start recording the songs again. I've been not necessarily lazy, but I could just play them off Spotify because normally I just record them and upload them to the Stream Deck, and then it just only plays that one song. So I guess I gotta start doing that.
If you're just playing your favorite band, I'm gonna have you fucking play some STS9 next week.
Yeah, we could. I mean, I was gonna try and find a band for next month, but if I'm struggling, we might just do that. I mean,
we
at
might
this
just
point,
play
I really
my cousin, dude. I've really been trying to get in touch and get an approval so that we could do it, but he's super big in Nashville right now. not the other cousin I told you
Yeah,
about.
I know.
Yeah,
the
other one. I couldn't
the
remember if
other
I told
cousin
you,
that's
but
also a country singer.
doing really well on tour right now. Tyler Nance.
Tyler Nance.
Yep. Got a good song called Bad News. Go check it out. But yeah, if we don't find anybody, we'll just play his.
Yeah, there you go. It don't matter.
Screw it.
Yeah, because at this point, all it does is just give. It doesn't necessarily go against us, but it gives us a copyright hit on YouTube. But everything's been safe to use on YouTube. So
Sweet.
It is what it is.
Whatever.
Well, it's time to get it on, as we're going to talk a little bit about the upcoming UFC.
Hold on though.
Wait.
We gotta do
something
something
first. SDO Collectibles. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. SDO Collectibles are our sponsor. We are brought to you by them each and every week. They are your go-to for all things collectible, whether it be Funko Pops or anything sports card memorabilia related. They've got it. They've been doing a bunch of cool things. They've been opening packs, doing the pack rips. There's probably a cool name for that I'm not using right now.
Breaks. He calls
Breaks.
it breaks.
Yes, the pack breaks.
Yeah.
That's what's big.
March 22nd.
Yes.
They will be at Lone Tree. It's like a pretty cool event center.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find it real quick. But we will be there.
Yes.
We're gonna have new stickers, new business cards. Yes, it's at 10345 Park Meadows Drive here in Colorado. It's free entry, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's VIP from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. so you can get early access. But it is the Colorado Collectors Trade Show. Big deal. Got to be there. I saw the setup that Andy's got going on. It looks like a really cool setup. I'm really stoked that we got a table there.
Yeah.
We'll be doing a live podcast there and hopefully interviewing Andy, who is in touch with Dan, who owns SDO Collectibles.
Yeah, he's the one that puts on the show, correct?
Yeah. Yep,
So
yeah.
That'll be exciting. We will be there all day, just kind of hanging out. So stop by the table and see us. And if you're nice enough, we'll let you hop on with us or something. We'll see what's going on. We don't know what's going to happen out there when we're live on the scene.
It's true.
So, but yes, go check out SDO Collectibles and make sure to make it out to Lone Tree to see us on the 22nd of March here, coming up soon as we are about to breach March here this week.
Yep.
We're going to be in it. It's already almost summer, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's crazy, dude. It's nuts. We're really planning out this year. We just bought tickets for Comedy Works for Steph to Love. It's a comedian that the old lady likes. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
If you've ever heard her, you should have Meryl check her out. I think she would dig her. It's pretty cool.
I know who it is.
She's kind of got
curly
the
hair,
bangs.
curly mullet, kind of.
Not.
She wears jumpers.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to Google her.
Yeah, she's
kind
pretty
of
funny.
Italian chick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Very
We're actually
raunchy.
doing that for my birthday weekend on the 15th.
Yep.
And then, like I said, we bought tickets in August. And then I think we're going to buy ATV tickets for our Airbnb trick. Or not ATV, but like an ATV tour like we did a while back. So taking advantage.
Dude,
taking advantage of this time.
You got to plan. Yep,
you gotta do it.
have got to plan.
That's right.
Well, let's get into getting it on here as we're going to talk a little bit about the UFC coming up.
All right.
Let's talk about it, Chad.
So we have a fight night coming up this week, but that's not what we're going to cover.
Night.
It's the week after that. There's a big pay-per-view. Alex Pereira will be taking on Ankalaev. That's huge. And then there was a co-main event for that I'm
It was going to be really good, but now.
Yep, I know that after the rest of the card, I'm a little wary on afterwards. But Dan Hooker is out on his fight against Justin Gaethje. He broke his hand or some type of hand injury. There's 3 other fighters that are willing to step in: Renato Moicano, Rafael Fiziev, and Gamrot, I think is how you say his last name. But yeah, I'm really bummed, man. I was really hoping to see Dan Hooker on that fight.
Yeah. I mean, watching Gaethje fight is going to be good no matter what, but it is definitely a bummer that Dan Hooker is not on the card anymore.
Sucks.
But seeing Pereira fight again should be pretty dang good, and Ankalaev should be a formidable opponent, but we'll see.
This is one of the tests that everybody's been thinking could actually beat him, but we shall see. Pereira.
This is Poetan, though.
Yeah, exactly. He, I think, is the best in the UFC right now.
Pound for pound,
Yep.
he could be one of the best fighters we've seen in a little bit if he continues.
Nobody even gets close to hurting him, so we'll see, except for Izzy a long time ago.
A long time ago
But
in kickboxing.
Next week, we will be previewing more of that card coming up.
Yes. Also, Drive to Survive is coming out soon.
March 4th, is it?
It's next week, I believe.
Oh,
and
man.
also in
Daredevil?
2 weeks, Australian GP is already here. March 13th.
The first race of the season
is already
Oh
here.
my god!
We've got liveries being
off season.
Yeah, the liveries have already been unveiled by most teams.
Dude,
looking
did
like
you watch
some-
much of the F1 75?
No, I didn't. Did
Dude,
you check
was,
it out?
It was freaking sick.
Was it?
Like the whole stage
They
and
were
just like everything?
They said that was like going to be like the kickoff point. That they're like, we want this to be like a big deal for them every year going.
I'm sure they
into it.
called it 75 because it was the 75th
Yeah.
anniversary. Yeah, and I mean the whole stage just like trumped every kind of Oscars big production stage like
Yeah.
that. And all they
I'll
were
have to check it
doing
out. I know it was this weekend.
previewing the F1 season.
Yeah.
I mean, god damn.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it's
money
pretty cool.
behind F1. Dude, I will say this a bunch of times. I am so glad you got me into F1.
It's fun to watch.
Gung ho now. I've told you still need to watch Ferrari. Watch Ford versus Ferrari. I love watching the history of all this stuff.
Yeah.
You see the evolution of the cars and what they can do now.
It's crazy too. Just back then, when they were just like, "We're gonna go really fast," and they didn't really know anything.
Yeah.
And there's like, people are dying.
And watching Senna too gives me a big dude. It was nuts how many people were dying from that. I mean, they were like, "We will race no matter what." But
he dies.
That's why I still like Verstappen too, because he is a very aggressive driver like Senna was. You know, if he wrecks, and early in his career, Senna was very criticized because it was either he's going to push his car to the limits.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. It was like they had a knock against Brazilian drivers because they were all crazy. So, like they're nuts.
The passion.
Yeah, they don't know how to handle it. So,
but that's awesome. Can't wait. But yeah, Daredevil Born Again does start next Tuesday too.
Oh, the show.
Dude,
and there's Punisher's going to be in it.
Can't wait. It's going to be badass.
I still need to watch the new Deadpool. I still haven't watched it. Dude, we're behind.
You're so slacking on Marvel.
We're slacking, dude.
All right. Well,
yes.
Let's get to the man, the myth,
the legend himself, Mr. John Daly. As always, at the end of every episode, he grips it, rips it, and hits it hard, man.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man.
Far.
No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Long. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, living large.
Beal's down in New Orleans right now. It's his wife's birthday, and he's at some bar, and he just saw a KU sticker on the wall. He had to send
it to you.
That's awesome, right? Fans no matter what.
Yes. Well, this week, as always, we feature somebody who just is the daily dose of excellence. They go above and beyond or do something amazing or great or unfathomable. And this week, I think we got a good one as class of 2025 Nebraska football signee Tyson Terry announced that he wrestled with a torn ACL during his senior high school season. The injury happened during the football season, and he will finally get surgery next week. But that's not the biggest thing. Terry was able to win his fourth state championship in a row with a victory Saturday afternoon. He became the first four-time NSAA state wrestling champion at heavyweight with the victory. He finished with a wrestling career of 169-0. He then committed to Nebraska on June 9th, 2023. This guy's going to go on and probably do good things in Nebraska. I'm sure he'll probably still wrestle too. But that is one thing about these wrestlers and stuff, man. They're a different breed too. They're like hockey players.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that he would go to Nebraska for football. I mean, I wonder what he's. I mean, there's the money.
It sounds
there.
like he's a hometown Nebraska boy. I mean, I'm sure the money's probably not even it for him. It sounds like he was probably going to go to Nebraska no matter what.
Sure
but
he had offers from Iowa, Penn State. Like, there's a lot of good wrestling programs out there at other colleges.
Yeah, he's the first ever heavyweight to gain 4 gold medals. So that's pretty impressive. 4 state championships, awesome. 169-0. That's incredible, man.
Dude, to do that on a torn ACL,
it's crazy.
I've had a torn ACL in the bottom half of your leg. It's like you're a puppet.
Yeah,
it just dangles there. There's no suspension.
Jason has a torn ACL. He won't go get it fixed
right now.
Yes.
Oh man.
When he was helping me move that van, he stepped wrong. He's like, ah! And he's like, ah! And I was like, what? He's like, it just popped. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, my ACL is fucked up. I was like, go get it fixed, dude. What are you doing?
Did he do it from dirt biking?
Yeah.
Damn, I figured.
Well, it's like that guy we were talking about the other week that we raced with a torn ACL. He did it the week before. And he raced in that Supercross the other weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are nuts, man.
And hats off to, it's cool they're doing this for Daily Dose of Excellence, because hats off to Jason. I saw, what was it, maybe 3 or 4 months ago? He was 4 or 5 years sober now?
5, I believe. Yeah, good on him.
Fucking awesome, man.
I have no room to talk.
I've got a drink in my hand.
Yes,
I have
but
immense
cheers to you.
I mean, goddamn, hats off to you, sir.
Yeah, no, good on him, man.
One day I know I'll have to cross that bridge.
We probably
blow that bridge up before then.
Yeah, we probably all need to cut back. But yeah, Jason, congrats to you, sir. Exactly. That's a big milestone. He keeps on trugging along, man. I can't be more proud of him, dude. The guy needed to do it.
That's
so
awesome.
Good
hey,
on him.
And while we're handing out some flowers, happy birthday to my niece, Lexi, future pro PBR, I guess that would be professional bull riding. Maybe whatever the professional barrel racing is.
Oh, barrel racing.
This girl is 10 years old and does horse riding like a pro.
Okay.
It's awesome. She's going to
Equestrian.
pro. Happy birthday to you, Lexi.
Yes,
Love you.
happy birthday to you, Lexi. But on that note, man, it's that time, man. We
Yes,
gotta
it is.
get on out of here, dude.
121 complete.
Yes.
Yes, good episode. Are you all empty?
I'm empty,
right.
but I'll
There we
cheers
go.
you with
Cheers.
what's left.
Thank you, guys. It was great having you.
It's always great having you. Thanks for stopping by, and stop by next week. Be here, same time, same place, 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Tune in.
Damn right.
At @fringe_fanatics. Like, share, subscribe, and follow.
Share it.
We'll see you guys later. Chad, I love you,
Very
buddy.
well. Love you, buddy.
Toodle.